In this tutorial, we're gonna learn how to simulate the curtain movement with tyFlow. Let's check the unit setup for the scene. We can use any display units you wish, but the system units should be centimeters. We're starting with creating the geometry for the curtain. Of course, it's preferable to have a realistic size to have proper simulation. And we don't need segments now because we will subdivide the surface inside the tyFlow. We are also creating a cylinder. This is our helper object. The curtain will be hanging on the cylinder. I make it a little bit bigger, and we will see later why. And also I move the pivot to the center. Let's align all together to have it in the center, and let's create a tyFlow now. I'm requesting the license for faster calculation. Let's adjust the window to have some room. And for the clear work, we are going to rename our objects as curtain and helper. Let's start from birth object, and we will birth a curtain surface. It automatically becomes hidden because in the birth object this is automatically set up. And let's subdivide the surface. As you can see, by default it's 5 centimeters step, and it's enough for us for testing. And now we are converting the surface into the cloth with the cloth bind. In the display tab, you can disable mark particles with no geometry. And let's add some force, gravity. So as you can see, our curtain is falling down because it's not linked to anything for now. And let's fix that by creating a surface test and pointing to our helper object. With the new event, you can visually make it visible like that. Let's change the color to red, and here in the distance test you can specify the distance. So selected points, selected vertices will stay still and won't be affected by any forces. And we also add object bind by specifying helper object again. And now our curtain is not falling infinitely down. For the next step, we are creating a collision surface. Of course, renaming the object as a collider or collision, sorry. Let's add collision operator and pick the floor. So the curtain reacts properly, but it um, looks not good. And this is because we have to enable in the cloth bind the collision and also self collisions, so that the cloth will not intersect itself. Looks looks better now, but to make it even better, we should change in the settings the time step, and now you will see how drastically changing the quality of the simulation. Let's add some wrinkles. So this helper can be also animated, and we are going to shrink it down to the center by animating z-axis scale. Yeah, let's create a first key and the second key. Let's test, and yes, it is working. Let's just hide the curtain helper object. We can check the full timeline, how the simulation looks like. Currently, this simulation is low resolution, mm, and to make it higher resolution, we just have to increase the subdivision and time step. Now let's change to 2 or maybe 3. Yes, as you can see, much more wrinkles appeared immediately. Force, uh, I mean wind. Let's create an icon and plug it to the force operator we already have. The strength 1 centimeter will be too high, so let's start from something lower. And for testing, we have to increase the edge length and decrease the time step. Yeah, the wind is working. Maybe we should increase it a bit more to see the effect better. Something like 0.5. Yes. And for more interesting result, we also can add some noise to it, just to break the wind force a little bit. So for now, our setup is ready, and we can simulate the full length to see the result. And our simulation is done. And everything is working properly. For better result, I would suggest to increase the time step even more and subdivide even more the surface. Thank you.